This guy, ever since he got jaded without being a captain's pick in 2023, he's now up to 7th in the world. He's 9th in the U.S. Ryder Cup points. And David, I got to ask you, if it ended today to where it's like, okay, is Keegan Bradley going to be on this team? What do you think?
I mean, he's had 4 top 10s this year, including the win last week. He's finished 8th, 7th, 33rd, and 1st. I mean, it'd be really hard to, if he was looking at somebody else's resume and trying to pick somebody, he would be a lot.
Now, I got to ask you, when it comes to Tommy Fleetwood, you're a player, you're a caddy. Like, you have the well-rounded perspective to be able to answer this, because I've got my thoughts on it. But Tommy Fleetwood, like, he's been there time and time again, and he just kind of folds under the pressure, it seems like, where there was some questionable decision making in the final round at TPC River Highlands. So I gotta ask you, man, like, what is going on with Tommy Fleetwood when he's in contention?
So I mean, I would venture to say that pressure is definitely what gets to him. So I mean, it's a hot take. It might not go over well with the golf architect nuts, but I think Oakmont sucks.
Welcome back, everybody, to Pull Hook Golf, the podcast. I'm your host, Matt Cook, and tonight we've got a really special guest who has stepped in last minute for us. He's been on the show multiple times already. This is his 3rd appearance, PGA Tour caddy for Bud Cauley. His name is David Gies, and my goodness gracious, we are grateful to have you on tonight. We've got a great show for everybody tonight, as we've got to talk about Keegan Bradley and this whole dilemma that he has forced himself into, the conversation of whether he's going to be a captain, a player, or both at the Ryder Cup. We'll get into that. Also, this weekend, we got to talk about Tommy Fleetwood, and is it the pressure that gets to Tommy Fleetwood? We'll talk about that, and really from your perspective too, what you think could be going on there. And then we got to talk about Bud Cauley, because that is your player. That's your man. Ever since you got on the bag, this dude has had a resurgence. So we're going to talk about the resurrection of Bud Cauley. A lot of people don't realize that he was a thing before this recent run that he has been on. And we will certainly talk about that. But before we do, I do want to give a shout outs to our sponsors. So folks, Devereux Golf is what I'm wearing right now. These certainly the Nomies and the Lady Riding, those are head covers and hats, clothes. I mean, Devereux Golf, utilize the promo code over at DevereuxGolf.com, which is PullHookGolf20 for 20% off your entire order at DevereuxGolf.com. Also, Vice Golf, which is right over here. Utilize the promo code PullHook. Get 15% off your golf balls over there. And then new one, Rokform, right over here. The speaker's incredible. I was actually out with Trot, and all of a sudden I saw the speaker playing, and I had to do a double take. I was like, dude, Rokform, huh? And he's like, oh, I absolutely love it. He's like, it's super dependable. I love it. Utilize the promo code, folks, PullHook 2025 for 20% off your order at rokform.com. That's ROKFORM. I gotta say this. I received this little magnetic iPhone holder that attaches to metal items, and I absolutely love this thing. I left it at the gym today. So I went out to see Trot, and when I was on my way out there, sure enough, he's about 40 minutes away from where I live. So I went out there and I found a gym nearby. Well, sure enough, I left it at the gym, and I was in a complete panic when I got home. So I had to rush back over there and get that thing, because I was like, I don't trust anybody with this thing. This thing is gold. And folks, utilize the promo code PullHook 2025 for 20% off at Rokform. We got to talk about real quick, David. I got to give a quick little segue before we dive into Keegan Bradley about the 5 a.m. comeback. This is my personal comeback, the full body transformation, getting back to an elite level in golf. My golf game had gone to hell over the past year and a half, from a plus 0.5 all the way to a 7 handicap. The chipping yips did not help with that whatsoever, but this has been manifested for quite some time. The reason why it's called the 5 a.m. comeback is because about 6 months ago, my wife started working out, and we were people that would sleep in every single day. She started working out at 5 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like, holy crap, if you can do this, I can do this. And as I started thinking about it, I'm like, I run a podcast agency. On top of that, I've got the Pull Hook Golf podcast that we do here. With that, I didn't have much time to begin with. So I'm like, let me find this time to where I can do this and not take away from family time with her. And sure enough, I was like, the mornings are where it's at. So part of this, I do want to give a couple shout outs. First of all, to Stark Health, who is partnering up with me for the full body transformation. Folks, if you have ever thought about getting into incredible shape, but you've worked with trainers, you've worked with different people in the past, and it just wasn't something to where you saw the results. Well, they've got a full team that they utilize, from personal trainers to neuromuscular chiropractor to doctors that actually do your blood work and know exactly what your body needs in terms of nutrients, medications, and so forth. I'm missing certain people that are a part of that, but DEXA scans where you learn all about your body. I went out there on this past Thursday, went out to LA to their facilities out there. Absolutely incredible. It was unbelievable. But this is all in order to get back to a competitive level and hopefully play on a grass league team in 2026. But this is a full journey. It's beyond just golf. It's health and fitness. It is everything. And I'm going to be documenting the entire process all along the way. So make sure to stay tuned on the Pull Hook Golf podcast on our Instagram. You can check out the stories because my days, they were hectic before. Now they're even crazier. So you can check out all of that. And then there's going to be a playlist on YouTube under the Pull Hook Golf channel. That is going to be the 5 a.m. comeback. And I've partnered with a lot of great companies along this way. And I couldn't do it without a team. You know what I mean? So that being said, let's get into it. Keegan Bradley. What the hell, man? This guy, ever since he got jaded without being a captain's pick in 2023, he's now up to 7th in the world. He's 9th in the U.S. Ryder Cup points. And David, I got to ask you, if it ended today to where it's like, okay, is Keegan Bradley going to be on this team? What do you think? I mean, he's said it a lot that unless he's in the top 6, he's not going to pick himself. What do you think he should do?
I mean, it would be really hard not to pick him. I mean, I was just searching what his results have been lately. I mean, he's had 4 top 10s this year, including the win last week, and his last 4 starts, which are PGA, Memorial, US Open Travelers. So 2 majors and 2 signature events. He's finished 8th, 7th, 33rd, and 1st. I mean, who's playing much hotter than that? I mean, obviously Scotty Scheffler, but I mean, even you go back to last year too. It's not like he played bad last year either. I mean, it'd be really hard to, if he was looking at somebody else's resume and trying to pick somebody, he would be a lock. If you just put no name next to it, it's a lock.
Well, we thought that he was a lock in 2023, right? I mean, he was playing good and so forth, and then all of a sudden we saw the Spieth, JT, and Ricky Fowler be the picks of good old, why am I blanking on his name, the captain? I can literally picture Zach Johnson. Yeah, I was like, I'm picturing Zach Johnson swinging. Oh, yeah, it is Zach Johnson. But he went with those guys over Keegan Bradley, which was controversial at the time. And since, I mean, shoot, Keegan's won twice. Like you mentioned, he's had a bunch of top 10s. I mean, just has played unbelievable. And here's the other part to it. His strokes gained has surged. So since January 24th of 2024, he ranks 9th in strokes gained tee to green and 6th in strokes gained total among players with 40 plus rounds.
But if you go back to 2023, he won at Travelers, but other than that, he made a bunch of cuts, but I'm looking at it, looks like he played well early in the year, but towards getting closer to the Ryder Cup, he just finished a lot of top 30s, nothing spectacular. Where this year, I mean, he's top 10 seemingly every week.
I totally agree.
I mean, if there was any other captain and you looked at that resume, you'd be like, all right, that guy's got to be on the team. Especially, and you look at where he's from and just, I mean, not that New York is Boston, but still, I mean, it's a similar
It's the
location. I mean,
Northeast.
it would be, yeah. I mean, he's going to be pulled for no matter what if he's on that team.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what it's probably one of the only events to where you will see New Yorkers and people from Boston come together and root for Team USA in that kind of manner. So you're going to have a huge crowd for Keegan Bradley. It's going to be a crazy crowd as it is because of a bunch of New Yorkers. But man, Keegan being in there and not just being the captain. So my next question is, do you think they will allow him to be a playing captain, or are those days kind of gone?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, if that would be assuming that the captain does a whole lot. I mean, do I think they should allow it? Sure. I mean, that would be cool. But I don't know. Does the captain do a whole lot in the Ryder Cup other than listen to his team on who they want to play with?
That's why, like, I can't get over the fact of like that this is controversial in terms of whether or not he would be a playing captain. And like they made it sound, especially when he got picked too, that in no way will he be a playing captain. There's too much work that goes into it. There's no way
I
that he
just don't
could
see
ever
that.
do everything. It's like, what?
Yeah, I mean, let's say JT and Spieth are on the same team. You're going to just say, no, y'all aren't playing together. I know you want to, but no. And go a step further. Let's say Novak and Griffin make the team. You're going to tell them, no, I know you want Zurich, but no, you can't play together.
I know it's
You're just going to listen
absolutely
to the team.
wild. I don't get like how much work can go into it. Like he's not a stats guy that I know of to where like he'd be the one crunching the numbers and needing like get analytics guys like Team
Well, it's not
USA
like he's
can
doing it
afford.
solo.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he's got co-captains. He's got everybody. He's got a team around him.
But it
Let
does
him let
beg
him
the
do both.
question if he like steps down as captain, right? Or picks himself and relinquishes the captaincy. Does that open the door for Tiger Woods to step in?
Should be
I
the
don't
first
think Tiger
call.
wants this one.
Should be the first call. I don't think he
He's
wants it
got to
either.
be,
I think he
right?
wants it on foreign soil.
He does. 100%. I called this out when Keegan was the pick. Everybody wanted Tiger to be Bethpage, blah, blah, blah. But no, he wants foreign soil and really bring that cup back to America that we have
Yeah,
not been able to do in a long time.
they should just throw Phil a bone and give it to him, and just call it a day. It's Keegan's buddy. Just give it to Phil. Let the live
Exactly.
guys win.
And then
Give him a win.
Trot also brings up the please no pods on this team. I don't think that worked out too well when they were doing pods. And we're not talking about podcasts, folks. We're talking about team pods.
They thought they were going to outsmart him with the pods.
Unbelievable. Like some of the things that we've done is just, it goes beyond me in terms of the thought process around some of this. It's way too overthought. It's way too mechanical,
Just
in
go
my
play good
opinion.
golf.
Yeah, exactly. Like get
Don't
pumped
take
up.
3 weeks off before the Ryder Cup. Just kind of act like you want to win it.
And I feel like these guys now, like there's more camaraderie amongst them versus in the past when you had like Tiger and Phil, which those two just couldn't stand each other
They just wanted to kill
at
each other.
all. Yeah, I mean, it literally just didn't make any sense to even put those two as I mean, who was the captain when they put those two together?
Was it House Sutton?
I think so. And Hal's just like big ball Hal. He's just like swinging his you know what around and just like, I don't give a shit if you guys don't like each other. You're playing together. And it didn't, I mean, it was what it was.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, it did not work out in the least. But I do think that Keegan is the answer and is the person that can do this in the modern era to where there's enough support system that's there. Like as a captain, I think it means more to the guys if he's the captain and he's playing in it and he's playing well.
Yeah, it'd be. I mean, it'd be a cool thing to have. You got a guy he kind of got snubbed the last time. I mean, he did get snubbed a little bit. He's motivated to compete, and there's no way he's the captain if he didn't get snubbed the last time. That's just it. Sorry, but he's not one of the first choices ever. It's not like he has this fantastic Ryder Cup record like
Well,
the Europeans had with Poulter and Sergio, and it's just not. He was never even in the picture until he got snubbed.
100%. And he was known, like, part of the reason why he wasn't really picked for that Ryder Cup is because he technically wasn't one of the guys, wasn't a locker room guy, right? Like, that was a lot of the rhetoric around him not getting picked, or at least what started coming out around it. And it's like, dude, you couldn't be further from the truth. I couldn't care less if a dude didn't hang out with me all year, and then all of a sudden we get to a Ryder Cup style event and he's as competitive and wants it as bad as Keegan Bradley. Like, that would pump me up.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we're pretty consistent here. We think that he should be both, right?
I think so. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to him not being both, but I think I'm all in on him being both.
Yeah. And I don't think the players, I mean, you can probably tell me better than I can because I haven't talked with the players in a while around the fact that there's not many guys that I think would balk at this either. That would be like
a single one.
Yeah.
I don't think there'd be a single one.
Didn't think so. Which, once again, just kind of goes to, okay, Team USA, whoever's like, and it's the PGA, right, that runs the USA team. Don't overthink it, please. Please, God, don't overthink it. Just let it happen and let Keegan do the right thing and pick himself. Because do you think there's enough time for him to get in the top 6?
It looks like he's 2,000 points behind. I don't know how many points. I forget the points breakdown. Hold on. I think you get double points in the last year. So I think another win, I don't think it would even put him in the top 6. I think a win would have to, it might put him just in the top 6, a win.
And another win would be tough, but I mean, we've got the FedEx Cup coming up. I mean, we got the Open Championship coming up. So there's still some opportunities that are out there, but yeah, it would, in my opinion, it'd be tough for him to get into the top 6 before it. So it ultimately is going to come down to whether or not he picks himself.
Basically, yeah. So if he won again, he would easily be in there. It looks like he got 3,400 points for the last win. So yeah, he'd be in easily.
Now I got to ask you, when it comes to Tommy Fleetwood, you're a player, you're a caddy. Like, you have the well-rounded perspective to be able to answer this, because I've got my thoughts on it. But Tommy Fleetwood, like, he's been there time and time again, and he just kind of folds under the pressure, it seems like, where there was some questionable decision-making in the final round at TPC River Highlands. So I got to ask you, man, like, what is going on with Tommy Fleetwood when he's in contention?
Well, so last week we were the first off number 10. So when we made the turn, we were playing right behind the leaders. And I made a comment to Bud. It was kind of a Ryder Cup situation because you've got Keegan out there. Every putt he made, you have the crowd chanting USA against a European. Yeah. And I think that added more pressure than just, say, a normal, say they're playing in Charlotte. It wouldn't have the same crowd. But because we're in Connecticut, kind of in Keegan's backyard, it was very much a Ryder Cup situation. And I just think that was hard. I'm not sure what his start was. I know looking at the leaderboard, I think they both made a couple of bogeys early, but I'm not. Did Tommy make like 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 5 starting?
Wasn't good.
Yeah. Wasn't good. So I was at the airport when he finished, so I got to see the last 3 holes. And I mean, I know he switched clubs on 18, and that wind was swirling all over the place, especially the last 4 holes, 15, 16, 17, 18. The wind's all over the place. And you have a downwind off the tee, and the second shot you get up there and you're just feeling it straight in, and it's hard to commit to that. And I think that got him a little bit. I guess he switched from 9-iron to wedge and came up short. So, and those are part of the decisions under pressure that you make. That, I mean, those are significant decisions. You either make the right one or the wrong one, and added a little bit of pressure makes it a little bit tougher. So, I mean, I would venture to say that pressure is definitely what gets to him.
And I always say experience helps, right? Being in those situations. Yeah. But for him, he's been there so many times now that it's almost like this scar tissue is starting to build up. And did you see, I forget, was it CBS that did the broadcast or was it NBC? I can't remember.
You know, CBS because Balionis was on there.
Yes, that's right. So, and they did him bad on social media. They put a clip from behind him,
I saw
and
that.
he was already like crying before the putt even went in.
Well, I think he mouthed over to the side, no chance or something along those lines, or no way, something. He mouthed something like before Keegan even hit the putt, like there's no way he was missing.
Yeah.
I mean, he just gave him the perfect line. I mean, it was either Keegan choked or it was over.
And here's the thing, like his last putt, Tommy Fleetwood, that is, did hit a pitch mark. Like
It
it was
did, but he
very
also
obvious.
started. He also started it right of where Keegan started. And
Yeah, true.
if you go back to the video, I made sure I looked at it because I keep commenting on Kip Henley's tweets. But as they're coming in, you can see the pitch mark from above as they're moving the camera around. And Fleetwood's putt started kind of right center and hit the right side of the pitch mark, and Keegan's putt started kind of inside left and went on the left side of the pitch mark. So it was just enough where one hit the side of it and one missed it completely, and that's why one putt went in, one didn't.
That's wild. Wild when you
Yeah.
think about it. I mean, but I guess to my point is that it wasn't a bad stroke by Fleetwood.
No, he didn't hit a bad putt. He hit it right where he was looking.
It's just that he put himself in that position once again. So, like, part of it's got to be, hey, we need to dial in and get a little bit smarter under pressure. And I just don't know. Like, is it finding that, oh shit, get me to the clubhouse swing? I mean, what is it?
Well, I mean, and like I said on the wind swirl, like 16 was kind of a tough, awkward par three because you kind of feel it off the right on the tee, and it's kind of blowing into you, and he airmails it on that one. Makes a bad bogey. Then on 17, I think he was lucky to get away with par on 17. I mean, he
Yeah.
made like a 5-footer in a second putt.
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, he's got to find some way to. I don't know. It's hard to win golf tournaments.
It is, but he's put himself in that position so many times. We do got to talk about Kip Henley since you brought him up. Is he the most polarizing former caddy that's on Twitter?
He has to be. I mean, as I've told you before, I got off of it because I would like to argue with people, but now I'm a little bit more sane on there. I tie my name to the tweets, and I just don't. I don't argue with people, but that one I tend to
backed off
argue
too.
with.
Yeah, we were getting some real, like, I did it a lot for the entertainment factor and for obviously reach and so forth, for a lot of what I would go like arguing back and forth with, especially the live crowd. But we've really kind of backed off and kind of focused more on, being a little bit more positive and, especially on Instagram, we do a lot more than what we do on Twitter. And Twitter, I don't think they love the videos as much. I feel like you don't get the amount of reach or the likes. People don't like to like things on Twitter. I feel like there's not a lot of that.
I posted my new set of Titleist 680s today out of nowhere.
That's gonna go fire! Yeah,
it went viral. I mean, I have 130 followers, and I looked just now, and I had 1,100 likes on the photo. I'm like, I don't even know how these people saw it.
That's one thing everybody can get behind because those are gorgeous. Which, by the way, we got to talk offline. I got to ask you a question because those 680s and then bringing them back, holy shnikes.
So I played them throughout high school, and then I had multiple sets of them. I played them through high school and then into college, and obviously I wore them out. And then, I mean, all their new sets after that were fine, but when I saw them release it, I jumped on it immediately. I didn't care what it cost.
Yeah, I don't blame
was
you.
like, those are mine. Got the same shafts I used to play. I got everything dialed in the same.
Yeah, I used to play those and then the 690s. So those were my two blades that I really leaned on throughout my playing days. But yeah, getting back to Tommy Fleetwood. I mean, so a lot of what you're talking about is the wind with Tommy. And again, that's kind of the decision making, right? And I don't know, there's just something Tommy Fleetwood under pressure. I just do not trust it at all. And I think that scar tissue has built up quite a bit. And we might have seen a little something for the Ryder Cup coming up.
Well, yeah, and the more people talk about it, the more it's going to build up too. I mean, you just have to keep hearing it, and it puts more pressure on you to try to silence those critics.
I don't know. Like, I wonder how much he's worked psychology wise on his mindset and everything, because it just seems like there's tension going on there that normally isn't there any other day while he's playing unless he is close to the lead.
I mean, what on Saturday did he hit 14 of 14 fairways? I don't know what his stats were yesterday or Sunday, but I bet you it wasn't even anywhere close to 14.
And sometimes
yeah, I mean,
guys have a tough time figuring out their golf swings with tension, that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you feel comfortable with no pressure, and once you add a little bit of disconnect, you're a little scared, I guess is the right word. You're more scared of what's going wrong than what you know you're doing right.
So this is interesting because does it come to a point where Tommy and his caddy, he's been on the bag a long time. So, but he's not the guy who was on for Tommy. It was what, a year and a half ago that Tommy's caddy, the whole situation happened with him and he was no longer the big tall guy with the tattoos.
Yeah, Finna.
Yeah. So he was Tommy's caddy for a long time. Who's on Tommy's bag now?
It's still Finna. He's back on there. He just had
back on there.
He had like a month break.
Gotcha. There you go. So
a break.
Yeah, little break. Why did I not recognize him out there? He did, like, normally he stands out to me, and for some reason I'm watching and like that wasn't in my purview at all. Isn't that weird?
Well, it's funny you talk about the pressure too. So we played with Ryan Fox on Sunday, and Fox has played DP World Tour for a long time, and he made the comment. It's like it's weird that he gets over here and can't finish the deal because he's won some huge events on the DP World Tour.
Yeah,
with good fields, and it's just, I guess it's kind of like Colin Montgomery back in the day. You just couldn't get it over the line on American soil.
Good old Colin. Well, Colin also is harassed by the American fans for.
I guess Lee Westwood might be a better example.
Yeah, Lee Westwood. I got into it with Lee on X.
I got into it with Lee on X one time too. He's quick to respond to the haters.
He I will say this. He responded very quickly.
I'm looking at Fleetwood. Fleetwood's won 7 times on the European Tour. 7
times.
So he's got some decent wins.
That's even more of a like an enigma. Like it's not the right word. It's mentally like it doesn't make sense.
No, not at all.
Like he knows how to close. It's just he doesn't know how to close in America.
Yeah, his last one, he won the Dubai Invitational over one shot over Rory in January of 2024. So he beat a good player.
Yeah.
In 17, he beat DJ by 1. And it's not like he's playing against weak fields when he wins over there either.
No.
He just feels comfortable.
It's mind-boggling. That's what it is. It's absolutely mind-boggling. It is, I don't know any other way to put it. Like, it doesn't make sense because you would think, okay, if he has a tough time winning under pressure, then that's going to translate to him not winning. Like, but he's won, as you said, 7 times. Maybe it's him being comfortable under that pressure, and overseas, he's got that comfortability. He feels like, man, like he doesn't overthink things probably the same way that he does over here in the States, to where like that, the goose egg, so to speak, with winning on the PGA Tour and never winning before. I wonder if that's just enough to set off his nerves.
Yeah, maybe it's the fact that he won early on the European Tour. It wasn't too far removed from turning pro.
When was his last win?
January 2024, Dubai.
So it wasn't long ago.
So he beat Thriston Lawrence and Rory by 1 shot.
That's a guy that gets, I don't understand it. Like whenever I talk about Thriston Lawrence, like everybody like just shits on him. Like not a good player. And I'm like, this dude can flat out play.
He's got 9 professional wins, 4 on the European Tour. He's pretty good.
Solid. So solid. Like I have stayed up at nights watching like late night, just sicko mode, watching DP World Tour events and watching him win And I'm like, this guy can legit play. And he almost did it at the US Open. I mean, it just seemed like he almost, how can I put this? Like he had some really bad like play, and then all of a sudden he played great, and then really bad, and then he played great. And it was just like, man, I don't like that one. To me seemed like major championship pressure and the difficulty of Oakmont. But since I'm talking about Oakmont real quick, going back to Bud, you guys had a hell of a start and then a really rough second day. What happened there?
So, I mean, it's a hot take. It might not go over well with the golf architect nuts, but I think Oakmont sucks. I just don't think it's a good golf course. Um,
Tell me more.
but he played well the first 8 shoots even. I'm on the phone with my dad after. I'm like, man, this place, it just sucks. Like, I'm saying it after a good round. We're in like 8th place. And then I guess the golf gods caught me off guard because we shot 8 over on the back, our second 9 on Friday to miss the cut by 2. We had a 10 footer to go even par through 9 for the tournament. So through 27 holes, and then he played from the rough a couple too many times on the closing 9 in that place. If you play from anywhere other than the fairway, you have zero chance.
Yeah, we were talking about that. We're like, you got to be like, I was surprised that some of the skinny guys did so well because that rough being as thick as it is, just you had to chop it out of there.
It just brought everyone back to the same spot though, because it didn't matter if you're John Rahm strength or you're Eric Cole strength, you're still chipping out no matter what.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's just it was auto chip out unless you got really lucky with a lie. And then around the greens, it kind of brought everyone back to the same spot as far as short game goes because it was a guessing game too. It was like Bud's an unbelievable chipper, and we struggled out of the rough chipping around the greens. It's unpredictable. You don't really know what shot to play, and it's just.
I noticed that with the short game. It seemed like it was kind of one of those to where you're just hoping rather than like skill.
Yeah, and even if you left it in the right spot, it still wasn't a very simple chip. Like before the week started, we were all talking like as long as you're chipping or putting uphill all week, you'll be all right. But once you're chipping uphill, if you got a weird lie and chipped it 7 feet past the hole, all of a sudden you're making double because you're running the 7 footer 5 feet by, and you couldn't play from the rough at all in that place. I mean, and JJ Spawn did the best of that all week, and he hit it as good as anybody, and that's why he won.
Tyrrell Hatton, as you're saying this about there's no place to miss really. He had a hot take around the fact that he said that he got a bad break. And of course the media kind of fed into it a little bit and kind of followed up that question with, what do you mean you had a bad break? And he was talking about on 17 when he hit into the downslope before the bunker in the rough and had no chance whatsoever. And he's like, there's no place to miss it. Like that should have been in the bunker, but there was no place where you could miss. So it's kind of sounding like you kind of had the same kind of take that, there weren't those strategic areas that you could play to. It was kind of like, hey, if you miss a golf shot, hit it and hope, especially once you got around the greens.
Well, and those bunkers aren't designed for balls to stay on the downslope of the rough. They're designed for the ball to go into it. They're already like 4 or 5 feet deep, all of them. So they're already a challenge once you're in them. So now making rough 5 inches leading into them, you can't bounce it into it. And I mean, I forgot who we played with. It might have been Berger on Thursday was on the same situation that Hatton had, where it's in 5 inch rough, you're on a downslope and you're trying to chop it up to a green that's elevated.
Berger's a guy who his swing is a detriment in thick rough. He just gets it so flat and laid off that's going to be tough with thick rough.
Yeah, he played well though. I think at one point he was 1 under for the tournament. Then he made a quad on 3, but he made the cut and finished like 40th or so. He had a decent week.
Yeah. Hey, if you're making the cut, it's a good week.
Yeah, but if you made the cut there, you had a chance.
Yeah, you really did. Now let's talk about your guy, Bud Cauley, because when you got on the bag, I remember talking to you, you were pumped about getting on the bag of Bud Cauley. And I don't want to overplay it or anything, but like, what did you see in Bud that you were like, man, we're going to have some fun out there and we're going to start to put up some numbers because he's been on this comeback for a long time. Like, but he's dealt with injuries throughout.
Yeah, yeah, and we've talked about it before. Like he was a world beater before he got injured. I mean, he's one of the first guys to get his card through sponsors invites. Now it's a regular thing, but I mean, he was always a stud. And anybody that you ever talk to them about Bud, he's one of the best ball strikers you'll ever see, and that's very much true. Like you watch him hit balls on the range, which is true for a lot of guys, but even on the golf course, he flushes it. It's so repeatable, and I think we finished 25th last week at Travelers, and I think we were 58th out of 68 putting. I mean, when that putter gets hot, it's gonna be a good show.
I can't wait for that. So, would you say that with Bud right now, like, do you think he's fully back or do you think there's still some growth ahead?
As far as injury goes, it seems like he's fully back. I mean, he's not going to complain about anything, but it seems like he's 100% healthy. So, I mean, as far as fully back, I don't think he's fully back until he wins something. And I think
Ooh,
he would
there we
say the
go.
same thing. I think
I love that.
he's itching to win, and I mean, some of his closest friends, JT and even Smiley on the broadcast the other day, talk about just how good he hits it and how he's one of the best players out there. It's just a matter of time.
I love that. I love the matter of time because, like, you see guys in form, and like, I'm kind of seeing the same thing with, for instance, like, it's funny. I'll talk about him because he's not on the podcast right now, but I would say the same thing to his face. But Brent Grant, like, he's got some things that he still needs to like work out, but man, that swing is starting to get dialed in and in form. And so that's one of those to where it's like, okay, it's only a matter of time till he starts competing, starts to see himself up there on some of these events that he's playing, and he's playing in some smaller events, getting into some Corn Ferry Tour events again. And sure enough, like eventually that's going to come together if he keeps going in that direction. But he's got to clean up some of the other stuff that, you know, other guys are. It's a little bit more dialed in, like wedge game, for instance, which is why going out on Wednesday nights and playing over at Grass Clippings has been a good thing for him because he's had to really kind of focus on wedges. And you played out there at, you actually were in a playoff for the Caddy event that they had at a
Just got
Grass
robbed.
Clippings. So you did get robbed. I fully agree. It was a chip off. It was a goddamn chip off. When do you end an event with a chip off? But that being said, what was something that you saw with that golf course that you would say strategy wise, giving me some advice and potentially people that are going to go out there and play?
At grass clippings, I mean, you got to stay below the hole. I mean, those greens have some movement in them. Not that the greens are real. I'm sure they get them fast at some point, but you can have some putts that are diabolical out there. You just got to stay below it and just get dialed in with your wedge numbers.
The wedge numbers are big. That distance control to me is like the biggest thing. And then controlling some spin, I feel like is the other side to it, to where when they get those a little bit fast and firm, you could spin it right off the front of some of those false fronts. And yeah, it's a fun track. We go out there Wednesday nights playing the skins games and so forth. That being said, let's get back to Bud real quick because you say it's only a matter of time. Bud's eventually going to win, and you feel confident in his game. But is it just the flat stick that needs to move on? And could we see a move to like a lab golf putter?
I would say there is zero chance he puts a lap putter in play. He puts it great. I mean, it's just a little right now. It's not as consistent as he would want it, but he puts it good. I take a ton of video and I look at his stroke all the time, and I don't see what can go wrong with it. It's just a matter of just having those hot weeks. I mean, you go back to Colonial on Sunday, he one putted the first 11 holes on trying to chase down the lead. So it's not that he doesn't putt well. He putts fine. It's just getting it more frequently hot.
Yeah,
And,
that is.
the last couple of weeks we're putting on Poana too. So I mean, it's a little difficult for a kid from the South. I always struggled on Poana. So I mean, I doubt he would ever say that it's the grass. It's just more him. But yeah, you never know with Poana. It's a little bumpy. I mean, you saw with Fleetwood's final putt.
Yeah, valid point. I'm going to ask you real quick in regards to the modern day caddy. Okay. Cause you are a modern day caddy. You're a great player. You are a great caddy. And you just mentioned something that kind of put me into this mindset as to the modern day caddy with filming your player and almost like from an instruction standpoint, like the caddy has become a lot now. And I guess my question to you is what types of things do you typically do for your player? Like this is a opportunity to not, I wouldn't say you're selling yourself, but you're selling yourself.
With him, I mean, I think I know the golf swing. I know the putting stroke very well. He doesn't ever really ask me. He's got a swing coach, but I want to be able to know what I see in case he does ask. And I mean, if he asks, I can't say I don't know.
Yeah,
At
for
least,
sure.
at least have a knowledgeable answer, not just guessing, which I think is beneficial too. I think that's why it's moving toward a lot of guys are having caddies that either played competitively or still play competitive, like Will Wilcox. But I think it helps altogether. You see shots, you see situations that, I mean, he got on me last week we had a pretty tough shot on 9, and I wasn't in there telling him exactly what, or at least knowing what he's thinking on it. And I think if you're not playing competitive golf, you can see that shot and really not have an answer. Hey, what should I do here? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't play golf. I don't know what to do on that shot. But yeah, I think that's huge. Just knowing every situation and at least having a proper answer.
That's what it's all about with the modern day caddy is making sure that you have all the answers and you can talk through situations like that. You know, I've interviewed a ton of caddies, talked to a lot of caddies outside of obviously the show, and that's one of the things that kind of terrifies some of them is that getting asked the question that they don't have the answer to. So staying on top of that and being a player like you said, I think that's a huge value add. Where would you say your relationship is right now with Bud? You guys seem to be bobbing and weaving out there. I've seen a lot of TV time with you out there with that flow, and I'm talking about the hair. I've seen a lot of it, and I got to tell you, like you guys look like you guys are in a groove.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much business with him on the golf course. So, I mean, there's not a whole lot of chit chatting, occasional, but yeah, it's very much business like. He likes to keep in his own little bubble, and I'm happy to let him have that.
That's another key thing is that know your player, right? Some guys want to be best buddies and hang out all the time. Others want to keep it more business related. So that is a really good insight
Well, I think I mentioned
into
it. Sorry to interrupt. I think I mentioned it with
that's
when
okay.
I worked for Harrison. We used to do dinner 5 nights a week, and in a year working for Bud, we've done dinner exactly 0 times during the tournament week, and I'm perfectly happy with it.
Okay, Trot Golfer's got a question for you since we're talking about you and Bud. Last time David talked Bud out of a shot or club and the results of that.
Ooh, I know at Oakmont, I wouldn't say talked out of a shot, but certainly out of a club. At Oakmont it was 14. He wanted to hit 5 wood off the tee. We ended up hitting 4 iron. And then I should have talked him out of one last week. I
Hang on,
didn't.
what was the result of that one?
Which one
You
that I
skipped over
didn't?
that one. The 4 iron 5 wood.
I hit in the fairway. It was a perfect shot. He didn't make it par. It was nothing crazy.
Okay. All right.
Actually, on 8, which was our 17th hole last week on Sunday, um, it's a dead crosswind. I forgot what the number was. I think we were trying to land at 189. It was 177 front. You're going over water. Uh, and the wind's dead off the left. You can't tell if it's hurting or helping. And he's like, man, and we just watched Ryan Fox hit 7 iron over the back of the green. He's like, man, I really want to hit 7 iron. And I said, if we hit 7 iron and the wind gusts back into us, there's one place it's going. And I just can't live with that. I was like, why don't you just chip a 6 iron? And he hits this beautiful, I mean, he probably hit it 70% 6 iron. It landed perfect spot, rolls up to like 12 feet. Unfortunately, didn't make it, but I was scared to death. He would pull that 7 iron and we get the gust in and just water, and then I would be out of job.
It's that quick. It is. I call it. You guys. as caddies on the PGA Tour, it is a revolving door, I feel like. And
Yeah.
there's very little job security. It's like save up as much as you can because you never know when that's going to happen. And it's also the same thing on the caddy side, too, with the player, to where you never know when you get that call from one of the top 20 golfers in the world, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, you're looking at the numbers that they've been putting together in terms of money, and you're like, shit, I can't pass this one up. And all of a sudden you're on to another bag. I've seen that numerous times as well, and then talk to caddies in regards to that. So it goes both ways, but I definitely think it's more volatile on the player side when it comes to, caddies, and all of a sudden being like, yeah, that was fun, see you later.
Yeah, more so on the player side than the caddy side.
Man, I remember when Adam Scott's bag became available and all the guys were just licking their chops over that one in particular. You ever have a situation like that? I know, Bud, you were super excited about, but anytime that there was like an opportunity to apply for, like, to put yourself forward for a bag, and obviously pre-Bud Cauley, I'm not going to get you in trouble.
No, not really. I'm probably loyal to a fault with pretty much anything, but with that for sure. Like I stuck with Johnson until basically he told me he was not playing anymore, and Harrison, I stuck with him until the absolute perfect opportunity came available. So I mean, I think that goes a long way. I'm not sure that it means everything in the world, but I think you get a little bit of a bad rap if you keep jumping ship, or if people find out you're asking them about another job.
Good point.
So I mean, I'm always going to be loyal until I get canned, and then we'll figure it
Well,
out from
hopefully that
there.
is not anytime soon, because it's been a blast watching you and Bud out there and getting some of that TV time, like I talked about. Get that flow flowing throughout the wind. And man, it's been pretty cool. I almost text you a couple times because I'm like, I'm not going to bother him. He's in the middle of a round. I don't want all of a sudden you forgot to put your silent on and all of a sudden I'm texting you. Bud's like, what the hell's going on over there? But
I don't
I've
make
seen
that
you multiple
mistake.
times.
I don't make the phone mistake. That's the worst thing that could happen is the phone go off, or filling up the tee with 15 clubs, which almost happened at Muirfield, but we're not going to talk about that. It wasn't almost. So I'll tell the story. So he's
Yeah.
like, we're before the round. He's like, hey, I might hit. It's windy today. I might hit 3 iron instead of 5 wood. I just bring it to the range. We'll hit on track, man. We're walking. You have to walk right past the clubhouse to get to the first tee, and I go and put the track man in, and I forgot to ask whether he wanted to hit 3 iron or five wood. So I get to the tee, he's putting, and I always count the clubs before I go to the tee, and I'm counting them. And I'm like, oh, there's 15 in here. I was like, but, and I grabbed the three. I'm like, 5 wood, right? And he's like, oh yeah, 5 wood. I'm like, fuck, glad I count, because that would have been another job ender.
That was close. Truck Golfer says Bud's having a great year. You should be extremely proud. And I agree, man, because this resurgence didn't happen with somebody else, right? I mean, he's been healthy long enough and before you to where it wasn't necessarily like, it just seems like it is a great fit between the two of you. I don't want to pump it up too much and jinx the whole thing, but man, you guys just look like you're in sync, whether that's the business like aspect to it and everything. But that is kudos to you for knowing your player, learning him rather than just kind of treating him like everybody else that you would carry a bag for.
Yeah, I'd like to think that I have a little part of that, which I'm sure I do, but also think that the guy's so talented that he could figure it out.
Well, I can't wait to have you come on after that victory because I'm sure you're going to be having an absolute blast with Bud and so forth when that goes down. And yeah, knock on wood, we want that to happen soon. So hopefully
There
we
might be
get
a
you
few
back on.
cocktails.
Might be a few.
I
It
might
might
have a
be a
little slur
little
in your in this
perfect.
podcast.
People are very accustomed to that with the early days with me. So that's absolutely fine. We actually encourage that. But man, David, I know you're on the East Coast right now, right? You're back home.
Yeah, but I've got a week off, so we're all good.
Yeah, you've got a week off. So tell us a little bit about this trip you're going to go on.
So we're gonna go up to Portland, Maine. I've never been up there. Fly into Boston to drive up to Portland. It's like an hour 40 drive. Spend like 3 days up there. It's supposed to be 70 degrees versus 98 in Charlotte right now. So
It's pretty good.
get away from the heat a little bit. But yeah, just as soon as I got back from the road, we go back on the road.
Where's obviously you're going to go on vacation this week. What's the plan for the following week?
So we'll get back Saturday from our little vacation, then I fly out Sunday at noon for John Deere. And then
Good old John Deere. Let's go. I could see Bud winning that one.
he played well last year. He started, I think we were leading after the first round last year. He shoots 7. I think we ended up finishing like 30th. But yeah, he likes that golf course. He plays well on it. So, and then we follow that with Scottish Open the following week and hopefully play our way into the Open Championship.
Love that. Something I never realized. Do you win a John Deere if you win the John Deere Classic?
You should. I don't know if you do or not. They should give you the one that with the big putter that they always
Yes.
showcase trying to knock the massive golf ball in the hole. They should give you
Come
that.
on, John Deere. We got to get a better marketing department going there with the promotions.
Yeah, you get a tractor for your yard.
Yeah, could you imagine holding the trophy while you're on the tractor that you just won?
They usually have one in the pond on 18, so they should just float you out there and and sit you on it.
The pictures that you could get. I mean, those would be gold. Hopefully, somebody's listening out there for John Deere and they put that into action. Maybe it's too quick of a turnaround time to get it done this year, but maybe next year. You never
They got
know.
enough tractors out there; they can get it done.
That's for sure. Well, David, thank you so much, man, for coming on. Before we head out, I do want to give a shout out once again to our sponsors. First of all, folks, Devereux Golf. I'm wearing the hat. This is an old school hat too by Devereux. I saw it in their warehouse and I was like, I don't know if it's still on the website, but I was like, man, 4-letter word, looks like a curse word. That is golf. That is golf in a nutshell. So I had to have this. And this is part of their want to say like their pro shop collection that they came out with. So folks, utilize the promo code pullhookgolf20 at checkout for 20% off your entire order at DevereuxGolf.com. Vice Golf, utilize the promo code pullhook for 15% off your golf balls. And then Rokform, get your speakers, get that magnetic iPhone case that or the holster. That thing's awesome. By the way, you could attach it to the golf cart to record yourself in your swing. You got the Johnny Walker hat. By the way, I was dying when you sent me the Johnny Walker shirt Saturday night when Bud was close to the lead. And I was like, hell yeah, we're getting close to winning one of these. So, soup. I mean, it's right over here in the upper corner. Hang on, let me go full screen here, or a little bit. There it is, up in the upper corner here.
I should have worn it the whole thing. It's a Devereux hat too, I think.
It is. Yep, that's right from the event. So I love that. Yeah, that is dope. Folks, for Rokform, utilize the promo code PULLHOOK2025 for 20% off at rokform.com. Without further ado, my friend, peace out.
Appreciate it, Matt.
Down. And yeah, hang on for me, but we're going to hop off air here real quick. And folks, until next time, we will see you soon.